This video is about bookkeeping basics and how do we actually know that we're doing bookkeeping. I'm going to talk to you about what is and isn't doing bookkeeping. I often hear from my clients, I don't know where to start. I don't know if I'm doing things right. My reports don't look correct. I can't keep up with my invoicing and get paid on time. So today we're going to talk about what is and isn't considered part of the bookkeeping process. This video is sponsored by the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit. This is an essential toolkit of videos, questions, samples, and resources to help you set up a bookkeeping system and stay on top of it for your small business. The Bookkeeping Foundation Kit is $77, and you can purchase it by clicking the link in the description below. You can also view the curriculum before you buy at bookkeepingfoundationkit.com. Learn how to set up your books the right way, especially if you're using QuickBooks Online. And I teach you the skills to do your books correctly, on time, and consistently. Never again procrastinate on your taxes, because your bookkeeping will be done and ready for tax filing season every year. As a bonus, I'm also offering 30 days free inside my private virtual community. That way you can have support from me and my other clients as you work through the material. I have hours of live content and tutorials already in the group, and I go live twice a month for more Q&A and financial organization tips. I also host co-working sessions on Zoom that are exclusively available to members of the community. These are kind of like a study hall where you can work silently alongside me on camera, or even bring questions and get support from me on the call. Here are the 3 steps to doing your bookkeeping. If you're doing these steps, then you're doing bookkeeping. If you are missing one of these steps, you have not done your bookkeeping for that time period. The first step is always data entry. Data exists because we transact. We spend money, hopefully we make money, and that transaction creates data. Some examples of data entry include downloading your bank transactions into QuickBooks Online, invoicing your clients and recording how and when they pay you, uploading receipts to your accounting software, accepting and matching transactions in the bank feed. So if you're using QuickBooks Online, I have a video for my best tips on using the bank transactions feed and how to accept transactions and even automate and create rules for your transactions. Another example of data entry would be running payroll. Payroll creates paychecks. It also creates tax liabilities. All of that is data entry. The second step to doing your bookkeeping is to reconcile. And a lot of people get stuck on this part, or they're afraid of it, or they can't seem to troubleshoot it. And reconciling is very important. There's one way to reconcile your bookkeeping, and it has to be done in order to know that your numbers are accurate. Troubleshooting tips for reconciling are inside the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit, and I walk you through 5 of my top tips for issues that I see whenever I'm trying to reconcile my client's bookkeeping. So I walk you through that troubleshooting, and you should be able to reconcile your bookkeeping, especially if you downloaded your data from the bank. The third step to doing your bookkeeping is to look at your financial reports. It is not enough to categorize your transactions and then reconcile your bank statement and say, I'm done. You actually need to look at your financial reports on a consistent, regular basis. I recommend looking at your profit and loss statement every single month. And the other 2 reports that I think you should be looking at are the balance sheet and statement of cash flows. But you can get away with looking at those on maybe every other month or even a quarterly basis. But those are the 3 reports that I want my clients to understand how to read. That is the reports that I send them every single month in their bookkeeping package. That's the profit and loss statement, balance sheet, and statement of cash flows. Each of these reports gives you a different perspective on your business financial activity. It's very important that you read them and look for errors in your data on these reports. So if you're stuck on how to deal with your business finances, always start with that first step, data entry. And then I want you to ask yourself these questions. Where does my data live? AKA, which accounts am I transacting in for my business income and expenses? What time period am I working with? It is not the case that you just have an infinite amount of time to look at when you're doing your bookkeeping. We do bookkeeping on a monthly basis for a reason, and that's because that's how often your bank and credit card statements come out. And you need to be doing bookkeeping from day 0 and $0 in your business. So that is the moment that you open a business, and that is the moment before you make your first dollar in your business. Ask yourself, how are you going to report the income in your business and the expenses on your tax return? Because bookkeeping is the data that we use to file your taxes. So we need to think about your bookkeeping with the tax return being kind of the end goal every year. We want an accurate tax return. We want you paying only the taxes that you owe, no more, no less. So accurate bookkeeping starts with thinking about how things get reported on your tax return. Once you can answer these questions, you'll have a head start for a big bookkeeping or accounting project. And I recommend working in chronological order. So that means we start with the oldest bank statement for the time period and work our way forward. That would either be the first bank statement from when you opened your business checking account, or if you need to do 2023's bookkeeping, we start with January and work our way in chronological order, statement by statement. Inside the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit, I walk you through the step-by-step process, including determining where to start, because that's really important, obviously. And it doesn't matter if you are a seasoned business owner and you've got messy bookkeeping or no bookkeeping at all, or if you're a startup business and you're looking to create a functional bookkeeping system. If you're stuck on whether or not you're doing things right, here's what I want you to ask yourself, think about, and check with yourself. Have you reconciled your statements? Because as we know, reconciling is the way that we check our math. It's just like when you were doing an algebra equation in school and you plugged the value in for X back into the original equation to see if that value actually makes sense. Reconciling is checking our math, it's checking our work. So to know that your numbers at the very least are correct, we reconcile. And then from there, to know that the categories are correct for your data, you look at your profit and loss statement, also known as your P&L, and you question the numbers on that report. Do they look right? Is something here that I didn't expect to see? Did I expect to see something here that's not here and I feel like something's missing? Asking yourself those questions while you're looking at your reports can give you a lot of insight and financial analysis into your business. I give you my best troubleshooting tips for reconciling your bank accounts inside the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit. And I walk you through exactly what I do when my clients' bookkeeping won't reconcile. And if you can't keep up with your invoices, you have trouble getting paid on time, then I recommend taking a look at your automations and whether or not you're using templates to their full advantage. Just like our brain uses shortcuts in thinking, and that's called heuristics, we use heuristics every day to only process new information that our brain receives, because I don't need to think about how to sit down in a chair every day. That takes up a lot of brain power. So I have shortcuts to thinking about things or how to do things. And templates and automation serve that purpose in our bookkeeping. It's so we can spend time on the shit that actually matters in our business, not typing up an invoice every day. Automate that shit. Create a template and then just plug in the information that you need. To wrap up, today's video, we talked about what is and isn't bookkeeping. What do we do in order to know and see that we're doing our bookkeeping, and what is not involved in bookkeeping? Bookkeeping is a simple 3-step process. And I say simple, but it does take time. But if you can think about that process as put the data in, check to see whether it's accurate, and then actually look at the numbers. Look at them and think about them. It's pretty simple when you break it down into those components, and I believe that bookkeeping is a skill everybody can learn how to do. If you're not doing one of these steps, you're not doing bookkeeping, and it's as simple as that. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. And in order to know that we're doing our bookkeeping and to do it correctly, we need to be following this method. So grab my Bookkeeping Foundation Kit if you want the exact step-by-step process that I use, do my clients' bookkeeping, and that I teach other people how to do as well. And I will give you 30 days free access inside my private virtual community. This is where I'm going and doing live videos, live Q&As. I host study halls where my clients join me on Zoom and they get to ask me questions. It's kind of like a virtual office hours space. And my clients find that really useful to have a private community where they're in network with other people who are also doing their bookkeeping, who are also using QuickBooks Online. So grab the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit and you'll receive the templates and the resources and the information that you need to do your bookkeeping in the first place, to do it right, and to stay consistent with it. Because I also teach you the skill to keeping up with it and to coming back and doing it over and over again and automating most of it so that you don't have to be the one pushing the button. Grab the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit at this link, and I can't wait to meet you inside the Mind the Gap community. Thanks for watching, and if you're not already, be sure to subscribe and check out some of my other videos with QuickBooks Online tutorials and tips that you need to use that software for your business. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button and leave me a comment letting me know what kind of business you have. I'll see you guys next time.